new intro is so exciting. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
I'm just so, I don't know. I can't believe this is happening because I've always enjoyed your content. I like the fact that you're very snarky and have like that sarcastic attitude like I do. And so I think this will be fun. For those of you guys that don't know, my name is PJ, and this is my Not So Secret Diary. And today we're going to do an interview with ekcpeople. Aaron, is it okay if we call you Aaron?
Yeah, either one. I don't care.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm like, where do I start? I just showed Aaron before we started. I have notes, and it's actually 3 whole pages of notes. And so I'm excited. I guess I wanted to start out by saying, how did you get started on making a YouTube channel?
I don't know. It just, I never envisioned myself ever doing anything like that. When I was working on the vaccine Facebook page, we, just finding posts and everything, that was fun for a while, but I, at least myself, wanted to branch out a little bit, kind of create other things. So I made a few videos for that, and I really enjoyed it. Like, they were crap videos now looking back at them, but back then when I did it, I was like, holy shit, I made that. But yeah, so that I think kind of opened myself up to something like a YouTube channel, but just really what it all came down to was just, it's cathartic to just have a platform to voice your thoughts or your feelings, whatever.
I agree. Did you know Katie in the anti-vax movement? Because I know she did a lot of that kind of coverage.
A little bit. I mean, we weren't close or anything. We met in this one group. It was like just for like admins and moderators and stuff. We met there. I think it's like fall maybe, and it was towards the end of 2018. And she got kicked out of the group after like a week. Yeah, shit you not.
Sounds just like her.
I think the same person who brought her in is the one who kicked her out too.
Yeah.
So after that, because like we chatted a little bit while she was in there, but after that we stayed in touch because the vaccine Facebook page, I started a website for it. And I was blogging on there. So like we were both kind of sort of doing the same thing. So when we would reach out to one another, if we wanted to, hey, did you write about this, X, Y, and Z? If so, do you have a link, checks, just get information from each other or, whatever. We never really talked about anything personal, except for one time she reached out to me. She wanted to ask about some other page in the science community or skeptic community, whatever. And I gave her my opinion on the drama that was unfolding there. And that was it. So that's like really it.
Pretty self-explanatory. So how did that get you to make a YouTube? Did you make your YouTube channel specifically for Katie content? Because that's not what it says, but it's kind of what it says in the about section.
All right, sorry.
That's okay.
No, it was specifically about her. Like I tried once a couple years ago because I just wanted to try and like do like blogging about something. I made one video and I was like, this is stupid. I'm not doing it. So, but I enjoyed, I started a YouTube channel for the Facebook page, and I think I uploaded like 6 or 7 videos. That was it. So Katie, her being in the YouTube community, it made sense that to talk about her, you did it there. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much because of that. What I really enjoyed doing though in the beginning was making like the mashup videos, finding the clips and everything and put them together. Like that was, exposing the hypocrisy, I guess, of it and trying to make it a little funny or whatever. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah, that's the part that's always been funny to me, is where you would play some of her video and then you would be like, what I really meant to say was, and so, because that's clearly what she really means to say, but she doesn't say it. So,
right.
But that's pretty much where I thought you had come from and what you had started out as and whatnot. But why Katie? Like, there's so many other problematic people on the planet. And it's like, for me, I get really frustrated when I watch her content. And so I can't. I just, it's like, and there's so many people. I know that it's profitable because I see, you know, you,
It's not that profitable.
You went from, and I actually wrote this down, you went from July 2nd creating your channel, and on November, God, I wrote this down.
Mid-November. Yep.
Yeah, where you were already monetized.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me like 2 years. And then I noticed also, you know, Lil Red, Charlotte, common other channels that covered Katie mainly, like shot up to monetization almost instantly. And so I almost respect that as like a monetary decision because clearly that sells.
That wasn't at all. I mean, I never imagined becoming monetized. I didn't even know much of anything about it really. I knew it existed. Like that was about it. So I certainly didn't choose this for that reason. However, I must say that I do kind of agree. I think that because of the subject matter and the interest of the viewers, you know, and her fuckery, I think that is why I did reach monetization so quickly. Yeah. However, since then, I mean, I think I finally started to grow in sub count, like maybe this past month again. Like because I'm still, I was stalled. I was stalled at like in the 3,600s for a while. Then I slowly started to creep up. And then I'd say like this past month or so, I gained like 100 subs. It was actually right after I did the video on mommy ramblings. That's when my sub count started to grow again.
Awesome. Okay. I guess I wanted to go right on into the meat and potatoes and the stuff that people consider controversial things that you had done. And so the first thing was the contacting brewery about Katie's husband.
I didn't contact them about what she was doing. I just contacted them asking them why they weren't going to submit that to authorities. I mean, these are death threats.
Right. Did they have any answer on that?
No, they never responded to me. In fact, I didn't even know if anyone had read my email until she put it out there on Twitter. Well, she didn't put the email out there. She put it out there that I emailed them on Twitter.
That story was really strange. Did we ever figure out if she actually did get those calls at his place of business or if that was like a promotional thing for his band? Because didn't his band release their album that same day?
The day. Not the day she says the calls came in, the day that she told everyone about the calls. In fact, she was in mid-story talking about these calls when she stopped to put a plug in there for her husband's album that just released that day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had my doubts and everything like anyone else when she was telling her story, but then when she said, no, we're not going to put him. We're not going to give it to the cops. Like, we don't even know who we would give them to anyways, because there's 2 different jurisdictions. She's talking and she said, I'm just going to give it to my lawyer. I'm like, that's nuts. That's crazy. I mean, if I were a business, I would be concerned about liability should something happen. And I did nothing to prevent it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm trying to think of how I want to say this, but like, do you make calls like that or do you email other people or is it just when it's relating to Katie?
Oh yeah, I absolutely have. Actually, my the first Facebook page I had, it was when I started on my own. It was called Online Activism, and one of the things I did on the page was whenever there was an incident, which you're going to get a chuckle out of this, whenever there was an incident of police brutality or police, non-accountability, I would make a post about it and I would include the department's contact information should anyone want to contact them, say, listen, this is pretty fucked up that nothing's being done about this. So,
and that's actually, I think I knew that already about you because I don't know where I saw that or where I heard you say that before. And that's why a lot of the people that I had discussed, the second incident we're going to discuss, had an issue is you were trying to do what's right and stand up for the police officer. But then there were several instances in your past where you had done things against the police. So it was kind of like people were thinking like, well, does she really like the cops? Does she not like the cops? Does she really want to just do what's right? Or because when you did that stream on Lil Red stream on the incident that we're just going to call the incident, that's the most controversial. I guess that's the most thing that everybody after Unirock stream and everybody wanted to, I guess, get clarification from you is why you would do that.
I think I already explained that. In fact, I even made my own video about that. I mean, if you guys want to hear it again, I see, okay, good. I was going to say, I see comments all over the place like, oh my God, why won't she shut up about it? And it's like, because I keep getting asked about it.
Yeah. So. I think that the issue happened while it happened. Why was it done on Little Red's channel and not your own?
Because I had like no subs. And I would have been fine with, I mean, her channel was like far bigger than mine. And I would have been fine with doing it on my channel. And I even told her that. So, but I mean, she was more than willing to do it on her channel. And she had a much larger following and audience than I did. So it made sense.
That makes sense. What did you think about Unirock's stream and how you guys went back and forth? And then afterwards where he did the video against you?
I honestly, I haven't even seen the video that he allegedly did against me. I finally like got around to watching where he edited the interview or whatever with me, where but that video is just basically just playing my answers. That's it. So
yeah,
but
a lot of people. I gathered some questions beforehand. So when I say a lot of people, I had asked several people questions and what they wanted to ask you. And a lot of people wanted to know what that secret part of that request was that you said nobody would be able to get her request.
It was just department information. Like it was a case number. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like a law enforcement friend that does stuff like that? Okay.
No, I know of people who are cops, like I went to school with or something years ago, but I know no cops.
Yeah. I dated a cop once. They're they have issues.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I mean, they're great people, don't get me wrong, but they do seem to be a little bit intense.
Oh yeah. So you've mentioned recently that the only reason people are bringing up that incident and where you did what you did is due to the fact that you support Steve McRae. And I guess I wanted to know first off if you actually really believe that.
Well, not every person probably, but the majority, like the people who are, I guess, would be classified as like Unifam or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, I've gone through Twitter, like some of these Twitter accounts, and I looked like before spring when the NDA expired and I did the stream talking about the evidence that she submitted and all that. So ever since then, that's when people really started coming at me and stuff. So I looked at those accounts and I looked like back in October of 2020 and then on, and nobody gave a shit. Nobody even talked about me. But when I spoke out, this wasn't even so much in favor of Steve McRae. This was just against the shit that she was pulling. But they don't see it that way. I get it. They don't see it that way. But ever since then, they've all quite a few of them, and it's relentless too. I mean, I just ignore it now. For most of the time, I just ignore it now because no one's got that much time in a day.
Yeah. I knew that after the stream was done, there were a lot of comments underneath the video, and then there were people that spoke out against it, and there was a couple people that made videos against it, and I had seen those, but I don't particularly think that has anything to do with Steve McRae. If it did, it would be weird. I don't see why you and Steve McRae are so heavily associated together.
We're not.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk once in a while, and we'll stream once in a while, but I mean, I do that with other people too. And this isn't about defending Steve. This isn't about me thinking Steve is wonderful or supporting Steve or defending his honor or whatever. That has nothing to do with it.
I think people feel that way because you allowed him to post like his GoFundMe and.
Oh no, I made the choice to do that. Yeah, I made the choice to do that.
Yeah.
Because again, everyone wants to call this the anti-KJ community. Whatever. I don't give a shit. But everyone wants to call it the anti-KJ community. So here's someone who has a decent case against Katie. At the very least, will cause her to go to court and spend money and shit. So that's why I shared it.
Have you donated to his GoFundMe?
What's that?
Have you donated any money to his GoFundMe?
Yes, I have. I put a comment up on the page and everything. A couple times.
I haven't looked. I just was wondering. So, what is it that Steve has as far as a victim of Katie's that, like, let's say, you know, the child that Sophie, that she was mean to? Like, there's so many people that Katie's just bluntly disgusting to. Why is Steve got a good lawsuit? Like, I've heard that a couple times from you, that you believe he's got a good case against her.
Well, because he's collected like everything and kept everything and put it together. I've seen everything. Like you mentioned, Sophie. Well, and listen, until Sophie decides to sue Katie and collects the information and I'm able to view it, I mean, I can't comment on that. So, but
Right.
yeah, but that's why. I mean, if it were anyone else in the community who were doing this, it'd be the same thing. It just so happens to be Steve.
Yeah, that makes sense. He just was the one that got to it first, and it's just so many people dislike him for whatever reason. But
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I don't know him that well enough to comment. And he seemed to be really upset that you were going to come up here with me. I noticed a couple of his comments. And...
yeah, you said something about that. What do you mean? I mean, I'm sure he did comment on Twitter or whatever, but like he and I briefly talked about it in Messenger, and I didn't get the sense that he was upset or anything.
Oh,
like, wasn't even really a subject.
I think it was on the stream. He commented during in the chat during your stream after you mentioned it, and then he commented under the promotion of it, and then he did comment a couple times on Twitter. But it doesn't bother me because he's upset from 2 years ago where I didn't agree with something he said. So that's not a big deal, and I didn't want to make this about Steve. It just was a little part of.
Please don't.
Yeah, no,
because I'll be honest, like I don't mind. I'll talk about anything, you know, but I don't want to go on streams and start talking about Steve or talking about other people, or you know what I mean? Just I don't know.
Yeah. Why Katie though? I still want to know. There's so many problematic people. And that reminds me, there's a Twitter post where you had posted something about how I had said, like, if you hate Katie so much, why just not stop watching her? And for me, the only reasonable response to that is Katie makes me money because I stream about her and I get money. And so it doesn't make any other sense other than that to me.
Right. And what I probably, I mean, I can't recall really, so unless I'm seeing it, I probably won't remember accurately, but I would imagine that had I said that, what I meant was like if you were speaking out against people watching Katie or whatever, or like you were something like that, and you were okay.
Wait, no, it's in not his this defense one. As well as this one. I had a question about that one also, but this is the one where it says,
I can't read that.
Can someone tell me why PJ wants us all to stop watching and talking about Katie so badly?
Yeah, the video you did. That's right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, because you made a video like addressing people who watch Katie and who make videos and everything. And that's why I responded with, well, if this, you know, if doing that upsets you so much, then by all means don't do it.
I'm like, if Katie upsets you so much, don't watch her. And you're like, if watching Katie watch you, Katie, like
well, it's not that she upsets me. I mean, there are some things she's done that upset me, but I mean, it's not personal, you know, so I'm not internalizing anything. It's just, you know, it's like, wow, I can't believe she just did that fucked up shit, you know? And I don't hate her, but you asked, you know, you asked this a couple of times now, like, why Katie? The thing is, I mean, it's not Katie. So it's not Katie. It's the behavior. It's the hypocrisy. It's the really shit behavior. Okay. And when it comes to that, I haven't watched YouTube for all that long. I didn't even really watch Katie until almost the end of 2019. So, but goddamn it, she gives you a lot of freaking material. I don't care. You compare her to, well, maybe not anyone else on YouTube because I haven't seen everyone, but anyone else I've seen on YouTube, there's no comparison. She's so like unashamed and unapologetic about it. There's no self-reflection. There's no regret or remorse. It's just tough shit, you know? And it's that behavior really that something worth talking about. And it is kind of fun to mock. I do enjoy mocking it. I mean, there's other creators, sure. And when I come across them, I'll do that.
Yeah, and I've seen you do other people. So yeah. I guess I understand. I get so aggravated with trying to listen to her and her hypocrisy that I turn it off and just rage. But some people can stomach it and cover it. And
it's a lot easier to listen to it when from start to finish, as you're listening to it, you're thinking of ways to break it down, tear it apart, and make fun of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I'm one of those people. If I'm blatantly recognizing that you're lying to me and you're trying to sell me something and you're lying about it, I'm instantly like, okay, yeah, you're a liar. I can't listen to you. I hate a liar. So I just instantly shut down. But I guess I get it. I understand what your whole point or purpose or placement is. I guess my main thing in the end out of this that I wanted to kind of get at as a conclusion is like, I know you replayed the whole why you did what you did and whatnot, but a lot of people still emotionally are attached to that as for like they've had experiences and not always, they put themselves in other people's shoes and think like, well, how would you feel if how would you feel if I decided I didn't like you tomorrow and I'm going to go look up everything about you and I found some type of event that was like an essay event and I decided to read it out in front of everybody on my YouTube channel?
Well, if you did it for that reason, that'd be different. That was not the reason, my intent, or anything on why I did what I did. And like I said, it wasn't. If that's what I wanted to do, then I would have done it the first time I learned about this, or the first time I seen that she had spoken about this, or even on this officer. In the past, when she's mentioned it, it was a brief mention, and she never gave the officer's name. She never gave the department name, so it wasn't a big deal, really. But this time when she had done it, and I think a lot of people, she removed everything that she put up. She removed the live stream. She removed the upload. She removed the over probably 100 posts and or comments about this, or tweets, etc. And so people forget, or they don't know exactly what it is she was saying and what the damage she was potentially doing and setting up to do.
Right, because I don't know what that was. I know that she said that the department or the officer encouraged her not to proceed with any charges because she didn't have a case. No. Was that not it? No.
And this wasn't even a case of like the officer just being a dick and just, not wanting to work her case or acting like he wasn't interested. She says that he berated her for 2 hours, called her a liar, said that she was just a jealous ex-girlfriend trying to get even with a guy or whatever who didn't leave a number. She was mad that he had a girlfriend. There's no way that his family would have had anything to do with this because they have such great prestige. You're lying. I know you're lying because you have no memory. That's why I know you're lying. I mean, there's a lot of shit that this wasn't just a case of officer of a cop not wanting to do his job.
Right.
According to her,
according to her,
this was a case of the cop wanting to tear her down.
And how would you have proven that by getting the information that you got? Like, you ultimately, even the report and everything worded out as it was said, there could have still been times that it wasn't, recording officially or something behind the scenes.
I learned that the interview in question, where she says and claims that this all went on for 2 hours, she said for 2 hours he berated her. I learned that the interview was recorded. Now, these interviews, I mean, just like a police report or whatever, you can get the transcription of them. They just redact the sensitive info, like name, address, shit like that, So that was one of the things I applied for, was the interview transcription. However, it was never transcribed. So that's why I didn't get it.
So did you actually get the proof that you were looking for and solve the case?
Well, I didn't get the transcription, like I just said. I did get the supplemental reports of the detective, which show that he did what was expected of him, and he asked, and it says like what questions he asked the accused and everything. So there was that, but that didn't prove anything. Not even to me. Not even to me did that prove anything. That just, it helped supported, you know, my thoughts, but it didn't prove anything. For me, what ultimately, in the absence of the transcription, which, you know, we don't have, what kind of proves it to me is the very fact that when Katie filed a complaint against him after Mine a Little Red Stream, that the department investigated him and they looked at the evidence, meaning that in order for them to look into his conduct, that she was saying that he did all these horrible things, they had to look at the evidence, meaning, and they do have access to the recording. So they looked at that, and like quickly they declared her claims unfounded. So.
Right. Well, to me, and knowing Katie, knowing, you know, her exaggerations and her dramaticness and the way that she spins storylines whenever she needs some more views or whatever, I never really looked at anything that she said as being lies, or I just looked at it as her being upset that she didn't get her way at the time.
Right. And that would have been fine if that was all she had done. But then she outed the person and the department. That's when it changed. Her just ranting and raving wasn't enough. I mean, there had to be someone who was going to possibly suffer damages for, you know?
Yeah. So. Did they ever thank you for that? Or were they, the department and them, did they appreciate you doing what you did? Or do they not know?
You'd have to ask them.
Awesome. I definitely want to let the audience, I know that many people that I took down my questions from are in the audience, but I feel like there's probably other people that had questions. If you guys want to type your questions, I'll try and get them pinned as I see any of them. But for the most part, you know, I got basically what I wanted and my answers to things that I was looking for. I don't think we're ever going to agree on that incident, but I don't hold that against you as a person. Like, a lot of people seem to be really angry over it, and they can't move past it or let it go. And I guess I haven't had that experience, so I guess that's probably why some people can't let go of that past. But I don't.
Well, I mean, the day after we did our stream, people were making videos out against it, and you know, I mean, so I get that. You know, I don't know.
And yeah, there's not much, and I don't know. I'm trying to see if I could see any questions, because I saw a couple questions. That's why I stopped, and then all of a sudden now it's like I can't. Amiri says, but this isn't our business. As someone who experiences trauma, see, that's what I mean. Everybody that's had that type of experience is putting themselves in Katie's shoes and thinking like, hey, what would happen if you would have done that to me? And if that was me in her shoes, and like, you've got to be able to imagine it a little bit.
What did I really? So
no.
Okay. The poor thing, you know, I outed her as a liar about a police officer. Any other information I discovered, it corroborated her story. So, right. I mean, if anything, after I myself looked at the report, I feel like that report and her saying what she's said about that night 13 years later, it gave her credibility in my eyes. I mean, that's why any doubt I didn't really have.
So you did actually prove that she was a bold-faced liar, like we already knew, right?
About the officer. Oh, I mean, it depends on how. I mean, it's proof enough for me that she lied about the officer. I mean, the department did an investigation. They looked at the evidence available, including the recording, and they quickly found that her claims were unfounded. So, I mean, for me, that's proof enough that the officer did not do these horrible things that she said that he did. But I want to remind you too, these claims she made, she didn't make in 2007. She didn't make when she was filling out her report or right after her report. She didn't start making these claims about the officer until 13 years later.
Wasn't it after your stream with Little Red? Or was it before that? Her claim that, her claim that the officer did something wrong, and then you guys did the stream.
She claimed that in the beginning of September.
There was an investigation on his conduct.
Right. The first time I read anything of her story and where she first, to my knowledge, mentioned the officer was in 2018. But there was a brief mention in one of her blog posts. Then it it morphed into this elaborate story that she told in September 2007. It was like the first week of September, around there, where she made all of these like defamatory claims against this officer. And Little Red and I didn't do our stream until the end of October.
That makes sense. How did you get that case number?
Just looking for it. I mean,
it wasn't a secret, or
I
feel like you put out that hook, line, and sinker fish.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm not going to give a pathway for people to go and get it for their own, for whatever reasons. I mean,
right.
You know, I'm not going to do that. So, and this is also too, like people want to say, oh, well, you open the door to this. Now anyone can do it. Well, if I give these instructions, then yeah, anyone can do it. And I'm not going to do that. So,
yeah. I saw a question. I'm trying to frantically street. It's going kind of quick. I don't think I put slow mode on. And, it's a good question. But that makes sense. I don't think it's a common thing of people to want to do. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be looking for someone's reports. I just count everything that Katie says as basically a lie. So I don't really take her seriously.
And if it were just her making claims of the report, that, you know, claims that she made in the report, they would have been the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So.
I don't even understand why Katie decided to start talking about her essay herself.
I don't know.
To be able to,
I don't know. Like she calls it her Me Too moment, but it was like her third Me Too moment in like 2 years, which is fine. I'm not judging or anything like that, but it just seemed like anytime she got a little bit bigger of a platform, then she wanted to put the story out there again. So, yeah. I don't know what her motivation is for doing that. I don't really care. I mean, if that's just what you put the story out there, by all means. I mean, that's what you want to do and that's what you feel comfortable doing, then by all means, I'm not going to question or judge that, you know?
All right, I found the question. Is it fair to say that your friendship with Steve McRae is open and cruising due to your video 9 days ago where you state that nobody gave you shit about the essay report prior to May 2022?
What? When you, I don't.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what that means. I mean,
I think it's referring to the fact that you claim that nobody cared that you did the report, that you read her report until recently, where you were openly supportive of.
No, the people that were coming at me on Twitter about it.
That's what was confusing.
Yeah. No, okay. like I was saying, like the whole Unifam people or whatever. Yeah, no one on Twitter gave me a hard time until then. And looking at some of these accounts that have been coming at me over it, like none of them said a word about it.
Yeah, no, I actually agree.
Or whatever. So
I agree, because that's kind of what happens when you're in that circle of those people. It's like you have to hate the same person that they hate. And so it's based on that. So I actually agree with that. I was understanding of it differently. I thought that you were saying that nobody had given you a hard time over that.
Not many people.
Because everybody that I know really, everybody that I've ever talked to or seen talk about the incident disagreed with it 100%. And just
not
mainly
many people
because
gave me a hard time. Like, I know Little Red caught some shit right afterwards, and I felt horrible about that. And like, I think it was 2 days after or something. I can't remember. Charlotte did a live stream, and like throughout, Charlotte barely even said my name throughout this live stream. She was mostly talking about Little Red, and then after that, I guess that's when Little Red started getting a bunch of shit. So then Charlotte came back and did another live stream, and that's when she's like, "Why is no one giving EKC any shit over it?" But even then, I still didn't really get a whole lot of shit. And I would have been fine with it had I gotten shit, because. Especially because like the way Charlotte said it. I mean, she throughout both streams, all she did was just say, listen, I like both of them. I'm going to keep watching them. I just don't agree with what they did, and that's fine. I prefer that. So,
yeah. Aaron, you challenged Unirock during your interview with him to try to get the report. You stated he wouldn't be able to get it as you have one piece of information that he can't get. and that's the report number.
Right. But there wasn't so much of a challenge. There was just
it kind of sounded like it. Like it was kind of like, I dare you. It kind of
if he wants to, whatever, that's on him. But I mean, I don't really.
I'm just saying how it relayed over to us people on the outside, because that's I was like, oh, what kind of information? Let me go see if I can. I would never, but I just kind of sounded that way. I guess I didn't see the point in taking this kind of job. What was the goal? Was it to vindicate this cop? Do you know if he wanted that? What if he knew what she was saying and didn't care? That's a good question.
Oh, he cared.
Thank you.
He cared. The whole department cared. So, yeah. No, that
did
much.
Did they tell you that, or did you get some kind of request to do it, or thank you for doing it, or?
Again, I don't really want to speak on my conversations with anyone, private conversations there or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do know that the department, at the time, I believe Katie received a cease and desist. I'm not positive on this, so don't.
She ignores those.
Okay, yeah, exactly. But I think that she received it on behalf of the family of the person she was accusing. I do know that had she not shut up about it and removed the content when she did, that the department would have then been the ones serving the cease and desist.
Were they really paying that much attention to
yeah.
her? Was she doing that on Twitter?
What do you mean?
The defamation talk against
yeah, she was doing it on every platform. Every platform. She did I know it was 2 live streams and was either 2 or 3 video uploads, and all over just a span of a few days. But
she was calling him out by name?
Yes.
See, that's how much I don't watch her. So was that to discredit her when she stated that Steve SHR basically saying that this can't be true because she lied about another experience?
What?
That question basically kind of makes it sound like, were you trying to
see, honey, this has nothing to do with Steve, but every question so far has been about Steve. It's wow. I didn't even really know Steve that well back then. Like, I knew who he was back in the end of 2019 or 2020. But we barely even talked.
Didn't some of the OGs dislike you? Like, didn't Reagan dislike you at that point for going real life? Because isn't there subreddit number one rule?
No, she and I had I wouldn't even call it a falling out because we didn't really know each other, but she didn't really like me right from the start for a completely different reason. So
I thought it was because they're subreddit rules or whatever.
No. It had nothing to do with subreddit. It had to do with my sharing something that she created in a video. That's what I had to do.
There's another question. Why do you prop up people like Llama Girl just because she downloads KJ's lives? She's disruptingly obsessed with KJ and constantly posts pictures of KJ's kids and talks about her kids' illness.
Well, I prop her up because she catches these lives because Katie will delete them, and that's fine. That's within Katie's right. But that's why. That's why. I mean, it clearly says that, and I get it. Nobody has to agree or like Llama Girl. That's fine. But that's why I do it.
I get it. There's another one. You only know these people because you reached out if you didn't know before. So that's why I'm asking, did you consider the risk you were taking with them not wanting you involved? I'm guessing that's
involved with what all I did from the very beginning was just inform them of what was being said. If they didn't want me involved, if they wanted me to mind my own fucking business and butt out, they could have very easily told me.
Well, didn't they, when you request an FOIA request, doesn't it tell you not to use it for commercial use, or that you have to?
That's not what commercial use means, though. That's not it. Commercial use means you're using it in like advertisements. It's a whole different legal definition. It has nothing to do with YouTube or any shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of.
But either way, though, I mean, that's not what I really did with it. I mean, I didn't put it out there to like for commercial purposes, or either not for that definition or any other like assumptions of that definition. So
what I translated it as was that you couldn't gain monetarily from having it.
oh, sure you can. Well, I mean,
See, I didn't
I
know.
haven't. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but sure you can. You can't use it though as a means to like sell a product or like, I mean, maybe you can. I just think you have to inform. You have to be upfront about that. I'm not entirely sure on the law there because that was never going to apply to me. So,
did the report number come from the alleged person that was the bad person in the situation? And did you contact that family?
No. In fact,
because I think that was going around at first.
No.
If I can remember, people thought that you were in his DMs.
No. In fact, I do know of some people in the community who have tried to reach out to him or would want to reach out to him, but there was never a thought of mine. There was even to this day, if he were to reach out to me, I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Do you understand though a little bit as to why some people get kind of upset or emotional over this kind of thing? Because like, what if I decided tomorrow I didn't like you and I was going to contact one of your kids or something to ask them something? Maybe like I felt like you said something.
Right. This isn't about me not liking Katie. If it was just because I didn't like Katie or something, then I would have done it the very first time I heard of it. I would have done it just because I didn't like her. That had nothing to do with it. So, I mean, it's not comparable.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm caught lying and my lies I'm doing it for selfish reasons and without any care to the harm and destruction it could do to someone's professional, maybe even personal life, then by all means, call me out. So.
Yeah. And I got that already from you. I do think that you would do the same if it was other people, and it's not like just a Katie thing, but, Little Red went to the hospital the next morning, literally 10 hours later. I missed a lot of the backlash because I was gone. Isn't that when she had that that when you had that emergency?
In fact, before the stream started, like before we went live, she said that her stomach hurt. I'm like, are you okay? And she just like went right into the live. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So when I heard she was rushed to the hospital, I'm like, oh my God, she was complaining about a stomach ache just before the stream. So.
So you don't talk about Steve and make ridiculous reasons why he didn't SH Katie while promoting his GoFundMe again. Yeah, a lot of people want to know your association with Steve.
But this has nothing to do with Steve.
Yeah.
Ridiculous reasons. My ridiculous reasons are there's no proof or evidence of it. What the fuck? And her outrageous. She does have some outrageous claims there, like he emailed her and threatened her life if she didn't make an apology video.
I never heard of that one.
Oh, she said on K-Baxter stream, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think she says a lot of stuff to get attention, and I don't really.
They may very well be, but not everyone is going to just brush it off. That's and she has every right, whatever. I don't care. She can tell whatever lies she wants, but if she's going to tell lies on people, then people have a right to dispute it. I mean,
yeah. It just seems just so strange because, like, again, I just really want to be like, why Katie? There's other people. I mean, there's so many other people, even on YouTube or just even people that we're associated with. They all kind of have problematic behaviors.
Sure. When I come across one, when I see one doing this kind of fuckery, then maybe I'll cover them. Right now, I mean, I don't know everyone on YouTube. I don't know all these people. I don't know everyone. I'm not affected. I'm not seeing this thinking, wow, there's some fucked up shit that they're doing there. So, well.
You say it's not about Steve McRae, but Steve McRae comes into your chats and panels and makes it all about him all the time, and you allow him to be rude to your subs.
I allow people to argue, to have discourse, whatever, in the chat. That's what I allow. I'm not going to allow like crazy hate speech or whatever at one another, or people bringing in drama elsewhere into my chat that has nothing to do with the stream, that has nothing to do with that fucking drama. And then they come in there just to come at people because of that drama. Yeah, that I'm not going to allow. But if the discussion is stream relevant and it's happening organically, then isn't that kind of like the whole point?
Yeah. And that's kind of why I really enjoy going in your streams, is that you can openly talk and I don't feel like I'm really being overly moderated. And the other day,
I'm not a babysitter. We're not babysitters. We're all grown adults here. So
most people can't handle it, though. It's so weird. Most people can't. If they feel like somebody's offending them, it's like ride or die. You either take them out right now or you're dead to them. And it's just like, I don't take any of this to heart. Like I can leave right now and still, disagree with what you did, but still look at you as a person. And
exactly. Yes.
So
exactly.
Exactly. Now, if you go and did something like that to me, it would be a whole different story. But it doesn't. To me, it still doesn't make it right, in my opinion, as to what occurred. But you're not going to change your stance. Everybody's going to still continue to tell you you're wrong. And
not everyone.
They believe that you're wrong.
Not everyone.
Yeah, not everyone. I meant the people that are against it. Okay. Please type questions in all caps. Yes, thank you, please. Because I feel like I got a lot of stuff out that I wanted to, even though my notes, and I should have done bullet points or something. I don't know. But I think I got the majority of everything that I wanted. And I hope everybody gets to say all of that they wanted to say so we can not talk about this ever again. I'm sure you're tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I knew going into this that people were going to have feelings about it. And I made the choice. I'm not going to try and argue people out of their feelings, because everyone has a right to their feelings. And I think it's a matter of, it's subjective. People are going to feel the way they feel due to their own experiences. And I get that. Cool. My only issue is that when it's the ridiculousness, the crazy accusations coming out, or the flat out lies. So that's why, and like I said, I think a big part of this, like a big part of it, is that people either don't know or they forget all the shit she said.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't realize it was actually like his first and last name and the extent of where it might have gone. But
oh yeah.
How did you meet Tina?
I think just the Facebook group, I think. I was in the subreddit and I seen the Twitter account, which is Annie's account, now I know. And I had emailed that account because that account was kind of dormant, like as I started like paying attention to the shit. And so I reached out to Annie and I'm like, hey, if you need help or whatever, I can, I got time. Because at the time we just went into shutdown, because it was there spring 2020, and the whole anti-vaccine community, they were stressing me. I had too much anxiety over it because it was a novel virus. So these crazy theories are being, brought up and spread around, but there's, unlike with other vaccines or other diseases or illnesses, there's no arsenal for me to turn to combat this. There's nothing, because nobody knows anything yet, and it was stressing. I just wanted to get the fuck away from it, and that's kind of when I seen more and more of Katie, and maybe she was a distraction for me at the time. A lot, I don't know. It very well could have been. So I had emailed Annie, and I got the impression quickly that Annie was like, who the fuck are you? I mean, nothing against her. I mean, we're cool now or whatever, but she's a lot of people in this community seem very standoffish about new people. And I get that, I guess. So I kind of left her alone. And then I went into Facebook and I found the group and went in there and just started talking.
What happened to Annie? Is Annie still around?
Oh yeah, no, she's still around. Yeah. Yeah, she's in my streams and the comments here and there. Yeah.
I hadn't seen her in a minute. What about Dottie?
What about Dottie?
What's your stance on Dottie? Somebody wants to know.
I don't really have a stance on Dottie. I mean, she and I
were you guys close? I didn't think we were.
No, I mean, we maybe DM like a handful of times. maybe here and there in the comments. I mean, I didn't have a problem with her. She never bothered me. It wasn't like that, you know. But we were just never close. So
what
I don't pay attention really to all the drama or all the shit going down and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even think I know all the information, but the little bit of information I do know about the fundraiser, that kind of does seem suspect. But I mean, that's I don't know. It's really as far as I feel like I'm informed to speak on.
When we first started butting heads, I feel like it was over Charlotte. Why did you dislike her so much?
Well, it's not that I disliked her. It was the hypocrisy of it all. I mean, because Little Red and I did our stream. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and she made a couple streams that was within days of mine, a Little Red stream. And and when I did my Q&A stream, she even showed up in the comments kind of like giving pushback. And that's fine. I don't care. I didn't even think about it. I didn't give it another thought. Whatever. It was, you know, it was what it was. It didn't bother me. That's why I didn't speak on it. But then when the whole Nat thing came up, and if my stream, if you were to listen to my stream and you would just hear me say over, I think at one point I even said that I loved Charlotte. But I said I loved her channel. I loved her content. I support her as a person and a creator. I just don't agree with this stream. And I gave my reasons. And my reasons were for the most part, that I didn't feel like it was our right to jump in and start muddying the waters on this shit, because there was an investigation going.
Yeah. So basically, it wasn't okay.
You know? So
it wasn't right.
That's all I said. That's throughout the entire stream. That's all I said. You know, and Waxy came on that stream. LB was on that stream. I think one or two other people came on the stream. We all had a wonderful chat. We agreed on some things. We agreed to disagree on other things. That was it. And Waxy even came on my channel again after that. We were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know much about Waxy. So,
there was no issue but people just wouldn't let it go. They kept coming in the comments, and then these digs were being made. And it was like, you know, why is it that when, you know, and don't get me wrong, Charlotte should never have gotten shit for her doing her streams, which she did, and she did it. And that's the way it should be. But I mean, I did nothing different. So why is this such an ordeal? Why is it, you know? And I think that the whole Rakin thing had something to do with it. And again, at this time, Rakin still had me blocked on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I absolutely very vocally and publicly and many times just spoke that I disagreed with that. So, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get the shit I got over that. It was ridiculous. So
I just caught something you had said, how, you know, there was an active investigation going on, and it reminded me of your response to me where you basically said the sides of the basketball team and how yeah.
The thing with that was like, you complain about Katie, okay, you talk about Katie, you know, and you may not consider yourself part of the anti-KJ community, but if you put videos out that are similar to those in the community, then you're not that out of the community either.
Yeah.
So if that's what's going on, then, and that's another thing, like, like a lot of people at the time were making comments like, you know, if Nat was lying, if Nat was doing all this shit, it's not right that she's doing this to Katie and blah, blah, blah. And it's true. I absolutely believe that. But we're not going to be able to get to the bottom of that. I mean, especially when the FBI is looking into it, we're just going to fuck that up. And
yeah, which kind of brings me
very nearly did. So
right back around to the report that you read where it's like, well, why did you think that you were going to help fix that?
Because that investigation was over. There was no investigation. I didn't get involved in anything. I just informed them of what was going on. And then I reported on the shit going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes sense.
So
it's like,
I mean, had that been an active investigation, had the department been actively looking into the officer, no, I would not have done anything. But she didn't even file her complaint about something that happened 13 years earlier. She didn't even file her complaint until after Mine and Red stream.
Right. So. Which I still don't, I don't really understand her a lot of times. I really don't. But let me see. What was your involvement or connection with Salts? I know at one point you read out his resume in response to me.
You can find that anywhere on the internet. I mean, it's like, and it wasn't even his LinkedIn. There was just like, I think that was from his law firm. I think that's where I got it from. There was no more connection than anyone else. I mean, we spoke here and there, and that's it. I think a lot of people can say that.
So basically, what do you think people who were attacking anyone that were claiming that Natalie was the culprit back then, like, do you think they should get apologies now, considering what was shown?
Okay.
I get it. Like, it was messing up y'all's investigations by calling it out then, but it was still the case then.
It was more than that. See, Charlotte was she was involved in shit because she had been getting emails. Okay, so she wasn't just like someone who was watching this from afar and just talking with her friends or whatever. You know what I mean? She had done several streams about this throughout the entire month of February there. So and
Charlotte?
That was like her third stream at the end of the month about this. Yeah, so I guess Salts contacted her and asked her to take it down or whatnot. But so her being involved in it, like it just wasn't a good look. If something were to happen and prosecution were to occur, then how do you know that what you're doing isn't going to risk that, especially when you were part of the investigation in a sense? I mean, I don't know exactly what her involvement was with the authorities, but she kept getting emails, she said, and she kept passing them on. So in a sense, she was a part of the investigation. So that made a difference. And then it was the streams. I mean, very public streams on a YouTube channel. So I think that matters. So yeah. And also by her doing that, not just her, I mean, whatever, by that being done, I should say, it put Nat on the defensive. So Nat then started being aware of what she was revealing to people, and it made her, it altered her actions.
So she should have just continued to get the death threats and the nasty emails and everything, because she was.
But did her stream stop her getting that?
No.
Exactly.
It just made her have a harder time on YouTube, and I think at that point she just got so frustrated.
And absolutely, and with everyone she got, she could have contacted the police, her local police, boarded and made a report with the FBI. I mean, I get it. I get that being frustrating. It was for me too. It just, I kind of laughed.
I think she also didn't want to mess up that investigation either, for the most part, and so she thought telling the lawyer involved would help her somewhat.
Yeah, but he's not a law enforcement official. I mean, if she was,
if it would be so frowned upon to make the case all messed up by calling out their main witness at the moment and saying that there was a Looney Tune on board, why with the Natalie person was at that point in time, it was frowned upon to be calling out this Natalie person on her stream, and that would make the case look bad if y'all side had this crazy person as your
no. The case I was worried about was the investigation into who was sending the emails. I mean, I did kind of question. I did kind of question why people because Natalie's involvement in the civil lawsuit, it wasn't anything to really help Tati's side. She gave a declaration to an activity she claimed she saw Katie do at that time online.
And that's what made that actually I don't even watch Katie like that, but everybody was so involved in reading all of her, all of the declarations that were made, the Lorianne one, and I was following along all that. And so when hers came out, it was I'd been following Katie for several years. I first started watching her with Micah Stauffer, and I was like, huh? That was literally 6 months before that. And so anyone that would have been even remotely knowledgeable would have stopped to think like, I don't think what she's saying is accurate.
Well, from what I recall, what she had said was she was following Katie Joy for years, but then she started following on Instagram because of the Micah Stauffer situation.
Oh, I missed that part.
That's how I took it. There were don't get me wrong, there were absolutely things in that declaration that I kind of side-eyed. Don't get me wrong. Just that wasn't one of them. So I mean, and I get it. People have doubts, and again, anyone can do whatever they want. All I said was I didn't agree. Yeah, I didn't come at Charlotte. I didn't throw her under the bus. None of that. And I didn't sit there and ask either, like on a stream, why isn't anyone giving Charlotte shit over this? I mean, so I don't understand this, but whatever. Again, I gave my reasons on why I didn't agree with it, but I backed as soon as I gave a reason, I came right, follow that up with, but she has every right to do what she wants, and I support her, and she's, I'm still gonna watch her. I just don't agree. Yeah. So yeah, and
And there's a couple more questions, and then I see a whole bunch of them popping up on my screen. Let's see. No judgments on you going real life, but given that, do you think you should have weighed in on AZ playing that recording of the hogs fighting, or anyone else going real life?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I weighed in all that much. I mean, they had to do with a kid, right? I mean, from what I recall,
there was kids in the background, and they were just fighting, and it was just
that's right. Yeah, no, it was Michelle was trying to like coerce or whatever and navigate her child to declaring on a stream that he or she, I don't even know if it was a boy or girl, but that was
a different one. Here recently, somebody played actually AZ played the two of them, and there was apparently a video, but she just played the audio of them fighting, and he was very threatening and really like that. A lot of people were really triggered about it from experience of SA, but in abuse, domestic abuse, because it sounded terrible. I guess you hadn't even seen it or heard it.
I just recently, I heard something just recently, and all I said about it was just, if there's you see something like that concerns you, just send it to their local authorities.
Yeah.
So,
and I hope people did. Why was it up to you or anyone here to decide if Charlotte would detail an investigator or not, especially if you don't have all the details? Like some of the parts that you said about what had happened with Charlotte, clearly you weren't aware of the extent of the stuff that was going on with her. And so for you to be so vocal against her at the time, it seemed like...
But those who were involved were vocal against it at the time. That's where I got my impression from.
And that's why it was almost.
And again, it wasn't up to me. I didn't say it was up to me. I'm not the judge, jury, and executioner of any YouTuber. All I did was just give an opinion on a commentary channel. That's what I did.
Yeah. It just almost seemed like anybody that had noticed the inconsistencies or the stuff that was in that declaration that were wrong, or that noticed that, Charlotte was vocal about somebody harassing her, and she didn't name a name. And I only know of the one stream. There might have been a stream afterwards, but
no, there were two before, actually.
It's like people were getting silenced and bullied into silence, that anybody that would speak out. And
listen, I know I didn't bully anyone. I know I didn't try to silence anyone. I gave an opinion, and I did so in a very kind and polite and like complimentary way. I don't know how I could have been any nicer about. I really don't. If there's a way I could have been nicer about it, please tell me. That's what I did. So
I'm just reading questions.
Right. I'm just saying I didn't bully anyone, so I can't speak on behalf on the bullying because I wasn't involved in that. Yeah. So.
So the part about where you showed Charlotte's Facebook page with her full name on it is still cool too?
Her full name wasn't on it. Her first name. That was it. Okay. Just her first name. I read how the URL that's up in the bar there, I didn't even put that on there.
Yeah. I don't remember the Facebook page, but I remember where you read somebody's comment. It was a troll that typed out her full name and
Yeah,
you read it out.
then I did none of that even. They didn't even dawn on me until like after it was brought to my attention
Yeah.
on Little Red String. That's when I was like, holy shit! They never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Maybe okay, fine. I have the fault of being a fucking idiot sometimes, but
we all
yeah,
do sometimes.
there's definitely no intention there.
I just want to make sure there's so many questions. I'm trying to keep up with them, and I got my sister sending me some. I got a couple of other girls up here sending me some, and I don't want to miss them because they're just all so good. I feel like while we have you up here, we got to get it all out of our system.
It doesn't have to just be one stream. Whatever, we can do this again. I find it. I'm wondering why it is so like so far like the majority of the questions like from the chat, anyways, have been about Steve or Charlotte. I mean, and I get it. People care about them or hate them, whatever, depending on which one you're talking about. But I get that. I don't know. There's really nothing else anyone wants to talk about.
I got a couple of new members. Thank you guys. I see it. I don't want to stop though, because I feel like I'm going to lose my place. Don't Fuck with Unicorns has received support by many and only by a select few when it suits their narrative of innocence. Otherwise, their hatred for shins makes them discredit it by saying Nat lies. I don't think that was a question.
Okay, yeah, and I don't give a shit about shins and whatever. My whole thing, what I said, the only thing I really commented about that was about Irish Badass, what her contributions to it. I mean, she got Nat to confess on video with an officer of the court there. Yeah, for granted, Nat's told stories and then she's taken him back and everything before. Sure, fine, whatever. Regardless. Anytime she's told these stories, it was never in that kind of scenario. So yeah, Irish did that.
Yeah. I really hope that would have led to some kind of consequence for the character, but seems to be she's just allowed to roam freely still.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I know. I opened Twitter one day to see your kids on some Twitter page. I don't even understand how somebody thinks that way. I really don't. And if that was my child, or if I don't even know how. I can't even put the words together because it just
right. Yeah. The only comfort I found in that was that that told me that whoever it is has like no hacking ability whatsoever, and because the pictures they used, they went to find to obtain to use. The only pictures they could probably find to use were pictures that were over 10 years old and that were public on my Facebook. All the recent pictures of my kids and everything, or the more recent ones, like those are all locked down. So whoever this was, they don't really have many very hacking abilities. So that was cool. That was cool to kind of realize, I think.
You asked for other questions and now there's funny questions. Would you rather have Cheeto dust on your fingers forever or popcorn kernels stuck in the back of your throat?
Cheeto dust, yes. I just walk around like sucking my fingers.
And then another one was, Aaron, what's your favorite memory with your hubs, and what's your proudest mom moment?
Oh God. Favorite memory, I would have to say we were just talking about today. The trip we took to Atlantic City one year. My proudest mom moment. I don't know. I mean, there's so many. There's really so many. Like, I get really proud whenever one of my kids like says something freaking hilarious. And I do this thing on Facebook. I call it like, it'll say conversations with Gregory or conversations with Riley, conversations with Ray. And I'll, just type out, the conversation as they happen. And they're hilarious. I love them. So yeah, they give me whatever they do something fantastic. That's my proudest moment. I don't know why. I'm not so sure I really have not that much to do with it. Although I will say I'm pretty proud. There are moments. probably once every few months or whatever, I have all three of the kids, here under the roof at the same time, and we're all talking, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I took 3 humans and got them to adulthood in one piece.
And they didn't die.
Shit. Yes. And they have all their fingers and limbs and whatever. Yeah. Holy shit. Like, sometimes it still kind of amazes me.
Yeah, that should be amazing. Somebody asked why you continue to disparage Kay Baxter. She stuck up for Aaron in that circus stream and handled it exceedingly well.
That, yes, I acknowledge that, absolutely. I don't disparage her. I had no personal feelings against her or about her regarding anything about her. The only thing I've ever spoke on, and what do you mean constantly? When was the last time I even mentioned this? It's been a while. But the only thing I ever have spoken on is that now that we know that the claims being made by Katie, even the claim Katie made that she says, oh yeah, no, these screenshots, the account was verified. The account is verified to be Steve's. Now we know, because we have the whole email exchange where this verification took place, that, for example, we know is complete bullshit. So the only thing I've ever questioned is knowing what we know now, that the overwhelming majority, if not all of the claims that Katie made on that stream, at least in regard to Steve McRae, Tina, myself, that knowing that they were all bullshit, just, I don't know why. Wouldn't you want to clarify that? Not even a big clarification, not even, don't edit it or whatever. Just a note, a pin comment, whatever. Just, that's the only thing I've wondered. That's really, I asked for that. That's what I asked for that. And
Kay actually says that you came on her stream and then fought with her daughter. I don't remember that.
I didn't come on her stream.
Hold on. I don't know if it said came on her stream. It said
I was in the comment section, but I was in the comment section because this was after it was asked and then refused.
Oh, so you were asking for her to make a correction.
Yeah, or not even a correction, just a advertisement.
A disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer, exactly. Yes. And I know Cheshire went up on stream there, and I think Cheshire was maybe I think the way she was explaining it, I don't think it was being understood or whatever. Nothing against Cheshire. It's just, if you don't know that much, if you don't know everything about YouTube, you don't understand it, And I think Kay was taking it as Cheshire wanted her to take it down or to edit it or whatever. And that's not what Cheshire was asking, And then I believe it was that stream where Irish Badass even said, why not a disclaimer or something? Because I think Cheshire was not using the word disclaimer. That's why I wasn't coming across quite like that. But then Irish Badass used the word disclaimer and, kind of tied it together, I think. And it was just flat out refused. So, and even still, how long ago was that? I'm not here. I haven't even been talking about it. So
I actually heard you mention Kay yesterday in your stream about.
Well, yeah, something. I mentioned her. But I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't talking to her about that. I wasn't talking publicly, on Twitter or whatever about it. It's been a while since it's been talked about. So yeah. And again, I have every right to ask, and sure, she has every right to refuse it. And I have every right to feel the way I want to feel about that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I just, I kind of understand both sides. She's kind of like a waxy figure and has been kind of dogged on, and I don't really understand why. And so I guess that's why I did appreciate that question, because I don't really know. I know that she was the host of the stream that went down, right, where Katie. But like I said, again, I feel like I'm a broken record. The Katie, to me, I don't take anything she says seriously. So for me, it's she can say the sky's blue. I would go outside and check the sky color.
Right. And you may not, but but a lot of other people do. And you see, it was after the stream too. That's when a lot of these other accounts, on Twitter, started coming after Steve or myself or Tina. Oh, not so much Tina. I don't know why not so much Tina. I don't think. But Steve, myself, or whatever, mostly Steve. So you may not read into it much, but it looks like other people do, whether or not they're using this as a means to come at him, or if they really believe what they say. It could be either or, I don't know. But it seems that it looks like they do. So other people do kind of take her seriously.
Why don't you have a direct conversation with Kay instead of letting Stephen Cheshire call your most vile names all over
Well,
YouTube?
I was in her comment section. I mean, I did comment to her first. So, and I'm more than happy to. In fact, Kay made mention on Twitter about doing a live panel, and I was all for it. So, and it's like kind of like the last I heard about it. Like, I guess the day she brought it up was the night she wanted to do the stream, but I had to work that night. I mean, I need a little bit of notice or whatever. And so, and that's, like I said, that's the last I've heard about it. And I even told her on Twitter, I said, I think that this is a really great idea. And I thanked her for asking me for coming up with the idea. So,
yeah, because it's not easy sometimes to have these kinds of conversations.
Right. Yeah. I get that.
Not everybody can have them. But I think it's important because, I mean, ultimately, I don't want to go around hating anybody on YouTube, especially, you know, people that I enjoy watching. And it's funny because I actually commented underneath a post today where I had said, all of these anti-KJ people that focus on Katie so much, when is it time to start calling them fans of hers? Because to me, it really feels it feels counterproductive to dislike everything she does and then watch her 24/7. It's weird.
Here's the thing. I mean, I think we have different. I don't think we're quite on the same wavelength here when it comes to the anti-Katie community. You and I here, anyways. Like, and I think that this is very important to clarify. Like, for example, when it became known that Tati Westbrook was settling the lawsuit, a lot of people were upset. Okay, and they saw like their chance to finally see Katie pay or whatever. You know, they were finally going to get some justice. That I thought that was kind of a little bit strange because like it was never our justice to get. It was Tati's. You know, it was Tati's lawsuit. It was her damage. So, and I've said this.
So many people have been hurt by her, though, that they start relating to it and start putting themselves.
Right, but
I mean, that's where this becomes so emotionally driven on every side.
And I get that. But here's the but again, though, it's not their damage.
Yeah,
they're
still not theirs, right?
Yeah. So, and I've said this from the very, very beginning. If you're going to have a channel, if you're going to go into this talking about Katie or anywhere for that matter, if you're doing this with the expectation of something happening or of it succeeding or changing her or getting her off the platform, well, I think you're kind of doing it for the wrong reasons, but that's whatever. But B, you're going to be sorely disappointed because what your expectations, what you think should happen is never going to happen. Unless you are the one holding her to task for your damage and you have a case and you're doing it and you, whatever, just you talking about it on a YouTube channel, it's never going to accomplish anything. I think like people should do it because they enjoy doing it or it's cathartic or whatever. It just, you know, it relieves the stress. It just puts it out there in the universe and then they can just like exhale, you know, or if they just have fun.
Yeah, I do that with my life problems sometimes.
Right.
I go live and tell everybody about everything through my day and my week. And it does feel better once I'm done talking about it. So I get that concept. It's just, I just find her so that I just can't.
And I get that. But I mean, like, no, what I'm saying though is like, I think there's a lot of people in the community though, who are doing this with an expectation and they're all going to be disappointed because unfortunately that's just not how life goes, you know, and it's definitely not how YouTube goes. You know, it just, and I think when people talk about the anti-Katie community, like that's who they're talking about. And I understand how they're feeling. I really don't think that they're ever going to be satisfied because there's never, I mean, life is not just, it's not fucking just. And with Katie, it's never fucking just. So.
Yeah. Someone asked that when we were going to see Tina's video.
I'm not sure. You're going to have to ask her about that. I do know that it's coming along and it's by and large about almost completed, but as far as any details like that, I don't know. It's like she hasn't kept me that read into it. So you'd have to ask her, I think. I mean, I know she's released like a couple snippets so far. But.
Yeah. You were so passionate about the anti-vax people and doing streams on that. I haven't seen anything from you on that. Are you gonna go back to that, or did the whole new virus discourage you now, or?
It did. The anxiety it was causing me did absolutely cause me to drop out of that for a while. But I've been making my way back. Only I'm coming at it from a different angle. It's because what was it? I think it was January, February. I went to. We have rallies here, usually in Albany, and Albany's just like a quick train ride away from me. So I would go and I would just kind of document, just monitor, watch these rallies and everything. And now we're having them even in my county and locally.
Oh, wow.
And it's, yeah. But the thing is what I noticed, though, is what's different now than whenever I paid attention, before. What's different now is this isn't even really about vaccines so much anymore. Like vaccines is like an excuse for a whole bigger underlying problem. And like there's some lot of grassroots, I guess, groups or whatever, who, if given a second chance, they would absolutely try to fucking overthrow the Capitol again.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but that's what it is. It's all of these groups are converging. They're coming together. And
vaccines turned into politics?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's completely political now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, and it's funny too, how I watched this unfold, because when, like, this was before COVID, it was like back in like 2016 or 2017, what everyone would see a whole lot of is they want natural solutions, all natural solutions and everything else like that. If it's all natural, yeah, we would do it in a second. We care. We don't want to put poison in our kids. We don't, whatever. And then COVID comes around, and one of the very first thing that this group started complaining about was quarantine, shutdown, and masks. These are all very natural solutions or tools, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it becomes apparent that this isn't so much about vaccines, and it's morphed, I think, by and large, into just hating the fucking government. And I get it, dude. The government they've given everyone reasons to distrust and hate them. Absolutely. Every agency probably has, more than once. I get that. But I mean, the government is always evolving and changing, because government is people. It's not a thing. It's people. So.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have any questions for me?
So I know you were a moderator for Unirock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was talking with, who was I talking with? I think it might have been Steve I was talking with. I'm not positive on that. But he was telling me that, because believe it or not, when I mentioned this to Steve about what Unirock did with the whole QAnon thing and everything, like Steve gave him credit. Steve didn't fucking shoot him down or whatever. Steve's like, yeah, no, he did some good. But then I also heard that Hannah was involved in that, and that you were involved a little bit, but Hannah, I guess, was like really involved in that.
No, Unirock doesn't do his own research on anything. So there were a handful of mods. I was not there yet while the QAnon stuff was happening.
Yeah.
But there were a handful of mods, including Hannah, that helped do all this research.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, because they did get the real people who started the movement and everything. So I went down that rabbit hole several times. It's super interesting to me, because so many people just trusted that plan, and man.
Yeah, and like the anti-vax community, like there's towards, I don't know, after like 2017, it was all becoming about QAnon and went on Save the Children and all that shit. So I just witnessing that and just seeing it grow and grow and grow and just morph into the
giant monster.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I can't believe, like, I don't know like really well, but I know the people who got to the bottom of that. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of fangirling, I guess, a little bit.
No. I just want to.
But for you though, and not so much a question, I guess, but I know like the situation, you know, with the shit, some shit you've been going through, because you know, like you said, you talk about it on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy. I've been in similar shoes. It's not easy. It's not, and it can suck, but it's something that you will feel. If you don't already feel proud of yourself, you're gonna feel proud of yourself, and you're going to. And you of probably a lot of people I've met here on YouTube, you are one of the few people I wouldn't worry too much about, because you will find a way. You will make it work. You'll do it. You know, you will probably do it perfectly too. So
I try. That much about me. I'm like, I gotta strive for perfection, even though I know it's not realistic. But thank you.
But yeah, no, it's commendable. It is. So
thank you. I really appreciate you being here. I know there's a lot of questions. I should have put the chat on slow mode and been a little more prepared. I don't think we could possibly answer every single question everybody has. If you have a last minute question, we can try and get it, but I feel like this is good. I feel like I got to know a lot more about you. Hopefully some people, I know a lot of people are not ever going to be satisfied with your answers, but it's just what it is.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I'm so glad to have had you here, and this is great.
And I'm so glad to have been here, and thank you for the opportunity. I mean, you know, this is exactly all I've really asked for. Just talk with me, talk to me, you know, talk basically. So thank you for doing that.
I got a last minute question. What are your thoughts on the people close to her editing things as big as CP for the bug?
Huh?
People close to you that were discussing editing the videos of CP or alleged CP that came from Natalie.
There wasn't ever any discussion of editing CP videos. There was the only discussion I know of, and I read the discussion, is a discussion of removing sensitive content, like speech, like audio, from something, if it existed. Because in the conversation, Natalie made the claim that there's video she wanted to put out to prove she wasn't lying about something, but she didn't want what was being said to be out there because it would have been damaging to their kid or some shit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And what was said was, well, there's a way you can just take out the sound then. That was it. And it wasn't even like a plan. It was just like, well, you know, you can remove the sound. You know, you can edit
and the way
out.
that it sounded when it got
relayed. Naturally, because that's, you see, that's Katie has a lot of the same shit I have. So when I see this shit that she put out there, I see how she's manipulating it all to tell the story she wants it to tell.
Katie is just a magical character, man. She's got it all going on and made it all possible.
Well, I don't know if it's magical. I mean, just it's devious, yes. But
do you have any plans for any future content that's not Katie related?
Nothing I want to was that's not Katie related. Yeah, actually, there is a character I'm just now starting to learn about. I reached out and talked to someone today, and wow, that's all I'm gonna say.
Can we finally admit the reason the three of you hate AZ is because she took the focus off KJ and into the hogs? Why do you only want
who said I hated AZ?
I didn't think you hated AZ. I thought you were in her chat a couple times, but I just was reading the question. But it does seem like you do only want people to talk about Katie, and I don't say you like as in you.
No, not at all. Like, I don't care. I mean, we're a commentary channel, so we're going to commentate on things. That's all it is. And again, this is why when I do discuss things, I'm not coming at anyone. I'm not hating on them. I'm not. anything like that. I give an opinion. That's it. And I don't even give an opinion about them so much. Like even with the Roadhog, I was very careful for a while there to not really be harsh or say some horse,
until that
some
one.
shit. Yeah,
I retweeted that one video that was golden. I don't think he could handle it.
Yeah,
he thought he was tough, and then he got that video and was just like, oh.
Yeah. You know, and again, like, you know, it's because some people tried giving me shit for supporting Roadhog. I'm like, what did I do? I supported a creator until I saw a reason not to support the creator, and then I stopped supporting the creator. So yeah, but when I did see those reasons, you know, then that's when I did kind of become a bitch about it toward him. But I mean, I'm just, I don't hate AZ. I don't. I mean, she and I think have disagreed, maybe not verbally disagreed with each other, but I've been on different sides of an issue or something. But yeah, you know, if any, I mean, I'm not doing streams talking about how people are accusing her of crimes or whatever. You know, it's just but I'm the one being asked why I hate AZ when I'm not even speaking on her.
Yeah, I was confused by that question because I'm not really sure who the three of us is, or the three of you even is. I guess Steve, you, and I don't know.
I don't think I don't even know Steve. I don't even know how Steve feels about her, so I don't know.
I'm not sure. I see a lot of people just have a lot of questions in relating to other people, like again the Dottie, saying that she saw the video that supposedly showed the abuse.
Okay, I'm unaware of her saying that. I'm not. It's possible she said it.
She said it when she was drunk. I have the clip.
Okay. Well, then it's fucked up that she said that because as far as I know, no such video exists or
it doesn't
has ever existed.
Funny, and that's why I think some people get upset when that kind of thing doesn't get called out, like as aggressively as something Katie would have done. Because I mean, that's huge. She flat out claimed that she saw this video and that she's gonna.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot of Dottie. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah. And
again, like, I just really didn't. I don't know. It was what I mean. I'm not going to get super involved and pay attention to every dispute or whatever between everyone. You know, just.
I think that's a good question to ask Dottie.
Yeah.
And then again, Steve, is Steve in contact with 7M and why if he is?
Oh, I don't know.
You know that? Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why it's like we might have to have like a panel of everybody all together. Like me, Kay, Waxy, you, Steve. That would be a good time, I think.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
We would need moderation, but that would be fun.
And like I really don't know the answer to that question, but I mean if there are some things I do know the answer to, I'm not going to speak on it because it's not my business.
Yeah. So. And I mean, I understand that. Basically, like I said, everything else just kind of seems to just be in regards to Steve and everybody and all that. And I don't really think you can fully answer for him. And it's 9:45 and I have a kid that needs to go to bed. And I appreciate you for being here. I'm going to close it out.
I appreciate you for having me and for inviting me. So.
Thank you guys all for being here. Have a good night, bicycle.